Little tales from the trail. I'm out here for a walk in my local park. I can't resist being out in nature on a trail. This is my meditation. And one of my recent videos I talked about how one of the steps to getting past your chronic pain or emotional pain that you're going through for tough times was to keep moving forward. But what do you do when you can't move forward, or it seems like you can't move forward? And sometimes you're stuck in a negative mindset cycle, and it's just so hard to take that next step. Very hard when we're stuck in that cycle, and it seems like we can't take the next step. The tough thing that we don't realize is that not taking that next step perpetuates the cycle and keeps us from moving forward. Now, it's been said before that if you're not progressing forward, you're actually moving backwards. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you're not progressing forward, you would say that's neutral, right? But what happens is neutral is actually negative when it comes to your mindset or your physical state. And as you know, I'm a physical therapist and I deal with patients all the time. And if you have somebody, let's say, retires and they decide, I'm going to retire at 65. And they said, I'm not going to do I'm going to rest and I'm not going to do anything once I've retired. I deserve it. Well, what very often happens is after you retire, you don't do anything. And the hardest thing you may do is get up from the recliner chair and walk to the kitchen, or get up from the recliner chair and walk to the bathroom. And what happens is, not doing anything, you will start to regress rather quickly and degenerate. And the old physics adage of things in motion tend to stay in motion, and things at rest tend to stay at rest. And another thing people ask me all the time is, so how do you keep moving into your 90s or 80s or 70s? Well, guess what? The way you keep moving into your 70s, your 80s, and your 90s is to keep moving in your 70s and your 80s and your 90s. Because if you don't move, what happens is your body will degenerate fast. Well, mindset is very similar. If you have yourself caught in a negative mindset and you feel like you can't take a step forward or can't progress forward, your brain will shut down and it just keeps you from doing anything. But the problem with not doing anything is it stops you in your tracks. So you might as well be regressing. So if I stop here on a trail, now, although this is a beautiful view right now with fall foliage and one of my favorite places to be. In fact, I hear a deer in the background and a little out of breath from walking up that hill. But if you just stay here and you decide, I'm not going to move anywhere, how would I get back to my car? How would I get back to my house? How would I get back to where I started from or get to where I'm going? So if I decide to stay still and not go anywhere, not do anything and not progress forward, then in effect, I'm going backwards because I wouldn't get anywhere. Now, temporarily, it's okay to be here if I so choose to be here and relax, because it's such a wonderful place to be. And I could use this for my wellness and meditate and relax and use that to move forward. That was definitely a deer in the background. Love to be out here in nature. Last night, speaking of nature, last night we heard some amazing barn owls right by our house and hooting back and forth. One of my favorite things to hear. And again, moving forward, it was Lao Tzu who said, the journey of 1,000 leagues begins with the first step. So it may seem overwhelming if you're stuck in a chronic, let's say, chronic pain cycle or a negative mindset loop. It may seem challenging and overwhelming to move forward, and so you just don't do anything. But what I want you to do is try and focus on taking the first step. So you may have a destination, but you don't have to focus so much on the destination. Have that in mind, but focus on the step. Take that next step, move forward, and then take the next step, and then take the next step. Sometimes when I go on a bigger hike and I'm out in the mountains and it seems overwhelming when you start off and you're going to be hiking for 6 to 10 hours and you don't know how you're going to make it. You may know that you're going to get on the top, but don't focus necessarily on the destination. Focus on the step that you're taking in front of you, and then focus on the next step. and then focus on the next step and keep moving forward. I think it was Greg Anderson that said, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. Focus on the things that you're doing in the moment that you're doing them. And Eckhart Tolle would talk about focusing on the now, that there only ever is the now. So if you can worry about the destination of what's at the end of all those steps, and sometimes you can't focus on what you're focusing on at the present. So the only step that you're ever on is the one that you're taking at the moment that you're doing it. And then the one that you're only on is the next step that you take. And you keep moving forward. But if you don't take any steps forward and you stay where you are, I can guarantee you one thing, that you won't make any progress at all. And like I said, most likely you'll go backwards. So if you're in a negative mindset loop, that mindset loop may get more deeply rooted. If you're in chronic pain, you may end up with more dysfunction if you're not moving forward in life and focusing on getting to the next level of your wellness. So if you are in chronic pain now or in a chronic negative mindset loop, I want you to focus on, in any way, shape, or form, moving forward, taking the next step. So that may mean sitting down and setting specific goals for what you want to accomplish. And once you do that, then you can focus on taking the first step. Let's say you know you need to walk to get your blood sugar down or lose weight or improve your cardiac conditioning. But you can't walk to the end of the street yet, or you can't walk around the block. And the doctor wants you walking 3 miles a day. At first it seems overwhelming, so you end up not doing anything. But what I want you to do is walk to the end of the driveway, right? You can definitely walk to the end of the driveway. You may be out of breath, but you can do it. Then I want you to walk to the next driveway, and to the next mailbox. And then I want you to walk to the next corner, and before you know it, you're walking around the block. There are people who started marathons that way. And you walk 2 blocks, and then you walk a mile. And then before you know it, you're walking 3 to 5 miles. There's another train whistle. You gotta love it being outdoors. Now, if walking out in the woods is not your thing, or hiking is not your thing, let's say you're a walker, walk around your neighborhood, walk your dog, go to a track. I hear another deer in the background. But do something. Let's say it's something in the house and it's a stretching routine. Let's say it's meditation. Let's say it's starting to eat right. But take the first step. And remember, you're going to have relapses. You might have a bad day. You might have a bad 2 days. You might have a bad week. It's okay. Reset yourself. Revisit your goals. Set your goals. And focus on what you're doing at the moment that you're doing it. And then take that first step. Take the next step after that. And keep taking steps. Journey of 1,000 leagues begins with the first step. But before you know it, you will take 1,000 steps. You will take 10,000 steps. And you'll take miles and miles and keep moving forward. So as I said before, one of my recommendations for breaking your chronic pain cycle or negative mindset loop was to keep moving forward. And that's exactly what I want you to do. Whatever small step you're taking, focus on the step that you're taking at the moment you're taking it, and then take the next step. And then take this next step. But do me a favor. Take the next step. And remember, it may not always seem this way, but you are in control. You deserve it for yourself. Be your own champion. You are in 100% control of your thoughts and actions and what you want to accomplish. So get out there. But however small it is, I want you to take the first step and then take the next step after that. And keep moving forward. Well, thanks for joining me on the Tales from the Trail. All right, have a great day. And be well, everybody.